Remember what Majin Buu said. I'm going to destroy you.
I see. So that's why you did it.
Okay guys, I'm really not trying to rain on your parade here, but the lines have to make sense in context. You can't just say random shit and expect people to know what's going on, especially if they haven't memorized the entire show. Anyway, it's important to mention that again, the game kind of just glazed over a really important part of the story by saying that Buu absorbed Gotenks through trickery. It's not that there wasn't trickery, it's just that's a bit of an understatement. Super Buu's explosion was just so we could stall until Goten and Trunks could fusion again. And then as soon as they were capable of fusion, Super Buu reappeared and he was like, "Hey, could I fight Gotenks again?" And for some reason, Gotenks fell for it. What follows is that Super Buu not only gained a massive boost in power, but a massive boost in intelligence, and he uses this intelligence to torture Gohan psychologically. He states that Piccolo was never proud of him, that Goten never looked up to him like a real brother, and he even calls Gohan a boy multiple times just like Piccolo used to. This mental torture actually works, and it allows Super Buu to gain the upper hand on Gohan and start beating the shit out of him. Then Gohan, I believe for some stupid reason, reveals that Dende has been healing all of his wounds, and this causes Super Buu to go after Dende instead. And just when Buu is about to successfully kill Dende, Tien shows up out of the fuck nowhere and actually successfully defends Dende from an attack. And he's wearing these cool clothes and everything, but aside from saving Dende, he's kinda useless. And unfortunately, Super Buu doesn't get the chance to absorb Tien, so we can't use the Tri-Beam Cannon, though that would have been really interesting to see how it affected him. Because the Tri-Beam Cannon has always been an attack that could have killed Tien. So if Buu used it, one has to wonder what the effects would be.
Not done yet. Finish. Gohan, use this! Huh? What? Where are you? Hurry! Fuse with me to defeat Majin Buu!
It won't help you. But why don't I stop you just to be sure?
Goku is back, and this time it is not complete bullshit like it was in the BoJack film. This time it's because the eldest Kai gave his life so Goku could return and stop the Earth from permanently being destroyed. And as always, a lot of funky stuff happened when Goku returned that the game is going to just completely ignore. One of these things includes Goku hurling Destructo Discs at Super Buu. He actually manages to cut Super Buu in half, and then Super Buu's legs manage to knock out Tien. I mean, Tien was pretty much useless anyway, but might as well knock him out just to be safe, right? Something way more crucial that the game misses, though, is that there was no shenaniganry with Super Buu stopping Gohan from picking up the earring. It's just that Gohan actually missed catching it. And things were actually looking pretty damn bad until pretty much at that exact moment, Gotenks defused inside Super Buu, something that Super Buu failed to account for in spite of his new intelligence. And I would be criticizing the characters and their decisions and the story a lot more, except I'm getting so tired of the Buu Saga at this point. It's not even one of the longer sagas, they trim out so much fat that isn't even fat. A lot of the important plot points are outright missing, as I demonstrated. Even in abridged form, this entire thing gets really tiring. Anyway, we're still not done talking about things the game glazes over yet, because after Gotenks defuses inside of Super Buu, Gohan and Goku are more than enough to take him out without fusing. So they kinda attempt to do that.
Finish! Well, better to be safe than sorry.
No! can't be! I can combine with you! We'll become incredibly strong that way!
Forget it! Why would I want to fuse with you? Found you!
So this whole mess with Super Buu absorbing Gohan, that didn't happen because Gohan was failing to pick up the earrings and he just got distracted. That was because when Goku hit Buu with the Destructo Disc, he cut off that little antenna, and that antenna snuck up on Gohan and absorbed him. Now it's up to you personally to determine whether the game's explanation or the anime's explanation sounds more ridiculous, but the point is that Gohan is now absorbed by Buu. This form of Buu is the strongest, as you might expect. But it's also a rare case in this series where the strongest enemy is not the final enemy of a saga. Because this isn't the final fight, though it's probably the one more people remember because of the fusion between Vegeta and Goku. I mean, that hasn't happened yet in the story, but you know it's going to. I would comment on how having a character who can absorb other characters' abilities and grow stronger by eating them and all that is kind of creative and opens a lot of possibilities for interesting battles, but Cell is kind of already that. I understand their absorption techniques work differently, but there are just so many parallels between the two that I can't really care about Buu very much, or his powers. Cell was perfectly capable of absorbing people and learning the Z-Fighter signature techniques just like Buu. Cell was capable of reforming from nothing just like Buu, and no, Buu being able to reform from more nothing does not make him, interesting. It's just a bunch of stuff we've already seen before but rearranged in a slightly different fashion, and it gets really exhausting. Also, death has always been kind of a little bit useless in Dragon Ball Z, let's be honest here. Death has always been kind of a, so who cares, but it's even more useless in this saga. Everybody just comes back from the dead whenever they want.
Vegeta!
Hurry, give it to me! I am the fusion of Vegeta and Kakarot. Call me Vegito. So what about it?
I distinctly remember this is the part of the anime where the filler gets a little bit ridiculous in regards to the fights. You see, in the manga, Vegito just completely thrashes Super Buu. Just basically utterly destroys him, but in the anime, they have to go through Buu using all of these useless attacks just so Vegito can break out of them, like turning Vegito into a chocolate ball, only for the chocolate ball to beat up Buu. And it's just a complete waste of time, especially when you consider that Vegito actually wanted Buu to absorb him, but he decided to beat him up in chocolate ball form anyway for some reason, I don't know what reason. It's almost like they weren't concerned with making any sense, but regardless, this is another piece of the story that the game kinda skimps out on. Vegito gets absorbed by Buu on purpose so he can go inside Buu and find his friends. But in spite of Vegito getting absorbed, he doesn't actually become part of Buu, because he just used a barrier. I'm not sure why no one else considered doing that, but maybe they had to be stronger than Buu? Like Ultimate Gohan. Yeah. I mean, it's not like the barrier technique has a special name or anything as far as I know, but still, maybe only specific people know how to use it or something? That's the only explanation I can think of that makes any sense, and it doesn't even make that much sense because it seems like a really generic barrier that you could do just if you wanted to anytime. Anyway, after some really weird shit, Vegito does find all their friends inside of Buu and manages to free them. And then Buu transforms into his most pure form before he started absorbing anyone.
That's enough, Buu! You'll destroy the whole planet! Vegeta, over here! We're going to use instant transmission!